Symphony orchestras are funny things because they kind of inhabit, on one level they're very mainstream, and on another level they've been home to many people who have been living in the margins. Within that orchestral scene, it's these bringing together of two mainstream and marginal elements.
Queering the classical arts, re-looking at the role of women and queers, gays, trans people, whatever, everybody, you know, the voices that definitely were there and definitely have always been there.
In my experiences of classical music, especially as a composer, it is the world that's run by the white middle-aged men.
From times of old, like Raze founded on hiding our history, acting like racism is some big mystery. I had to unlearn all I was taught. See, things did not happen the way.
Queering the orchestral system is so similar to decolonizing the arts and the stages, which is something that the Cocoa Butter Club was founded to do. Today, and this project is just so aligned with that mission, which is to rewrite our narratives. A lot of the laws or belief systems we have were created by people that are actually long since dead. So this is an opportunity to bring everything into the 21st century.
You can't take away a black rage is founded on having to rise, even when there are tears in your eyes. So come on, black boy, try what's
It depends what you define by queer, and to me, to queer something is to challenge the things that queerness is positioned as oppositional to. So that's gender binaries, binaries of heterosexuality and homosexuality, and the myriad of identities that are in between those kind of polarities. But then also like taking an anti-capitalist approach, an anti-colonial approach, and finding where those problem areas lie within a particular field, like in orchestral music or in arts, organisational spaces, recognising and challenging the things that other you within a system, but also finding ways within that system to celebrate the fact that you have been othered and do so in a defiant kind of
that's a way better way of saying it.
Mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, and my fellow enemies of the state, welcome, bienvenue, and welcome to the tale of Jenny 2020. A tragedy in 3 acts, meine Lieblings. Yes, we have come very far indeed to tell you a story of the passion, die Verzweiflung et la vengeance of Jenny 2020.
So the Philharmonia has a Weimar Berlin series which is running across the Southbank Centre, and it felt really strange to do a Weimar series and not put a huge number of queer people on stage and say, go have fun and say what you want to do and use us in this way. Today is the first day that we've all met each other. We've got musicians from the Philharmonia Orchestra, and we've got artists that have come from Raze Collective and the Cocoa Butter Club, and we've been sat in a room, and it's been kind of like an amazing therapy session of everyone just talking about what they do, where they come from, what drives them.
I mean, I signed up to this literally not knowing what this was, partly for that reason, you know.
That's kind of cabaret.
Yeah.
That's kind of on brand, really. To me, there's a kind of an underpinning of not sexuality, perhaps, but kind of a sensuality or a kind of an electricity that can easily be transferred between people, and that kind of like, it's a bit subversive but not entirely, it's a little bit dangerous but not entirely, it's that kind of like, it's a bit of a risk kind of thing going on with it, and I think that's excitement of the risk of where you are, who the performance will be, how you'll be treated by the MC or the host or whatever.
The first time I went on, it was very scary, but I'm like, my heart's beating and I'm like, I can't do this, I can't do this. And then you just have to do it, because if you don't, everyone's just going to be staring at you. So you just have to produce something.
Sometimes, like the fact that I don't like it all, like on a night, I expect to dislike a couple of the acts or to dislike something and that's like kind of part of the experience. Like it's not to go and go everything was brilliant. Like it was like that was problematic. That was amazing. That was just a bit I don't know. There's something about it not expecting to like everything is somehow in its nature quite subversive, I think.
There's a baby army forming in the four corners of the world, wearing baby girl uniforms, blue for boys, pink for girls. If we don't go to war against this evil force, the weed will keep on growing. We've got to nip it in the bud, 'cause otherwise imagine how much more destructive babies could be when they grow up.
It's sort of when we're collaborating by bringing our music and seeing what they bring to our music, and also what we bring to a kind of classical world, and sort of seeing where the worlds of cabaret and classical start to overlap. So, yeah.
Yeah, we've been kind of adding different orchestration to songs of ours, and it's been very exciting.
See, I think Lou just comes in on that, maybe just on the calypso bit in the chorus, and maybe out after your 6 bars of pizzicato, let George and Liv take the tune. Can we have, I don't know, could we have another reference to something beautifully English? Could we have like an English country garden type melody or something like?
What's the Archer's theme tune? There you go.
For me, the most surprising thing is to see these performers being so comfortable in their own skin and being able to just do what they do in front of us.
Whereas I felt like, oh, and then, you know, we can do this with our instrument. Is that all right, guys? Kind of a bit nervous, whereas everyone was just so committed in what they were doing that it really like sets up the project, and I think it's helped us change our attitude by just seeing people be like, okay, this is what I do, here we go with it.
Obviously, being trained up as a classical musician and performing with the Philharmonia, where you have to be performing at the highest levels at all time, the idea that you can make mistakes, that you can explore in an accepting environment is actually really nice.
Liv plays piano and I sing, and that works very well for a kind of cabaret format because it's quick and it's easy and you can tour around with it very well. But when we write songs, we hear a much bigger sound. So it's really exciting to actually be in a room with people that can help us make that happen. Yeah. Like suddenly we've got a French horn on this grand chorus, which I think we sort of always had sort of subconsciously heard in our heads, like, oh my God, it's actually happening.
Grand ideas.
Yeah. Meagre means.
Yeah. The sound it brings is it's a sort of really warm, generous, like sort of rousing sound that's quite serious, and the words are like ridiculous. And I think that's playing, and that's what that's where we wrote that chorus to sound a bit like that. But it's like it's adding to the humour and the juxtaposition of that.
The humour should be the seriousness of the classical musician.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It works. The commitment to the seriousness.
Yes, despite the words.
Yeah.
Even more.
It'd be nice to just really push that, like
deadpan almost.
Yeah.
It was a big concern of mine to first bring a piece which is by a really contemporary artist and to ask them to deconstruct that. It tells a story and I see a black face. But to also bring a piece which is by a black artist and which is so important to black people. I'm asking instrumentalists who, as far as I know, don't have a black or Caribbean heritage to see this and to see it as important as it is to me and to Rudy, and to help us create something which we hope people will remember and feel represented by. That's been a massive surprise, just to be so welcomed by the ultimate, I guess, embodiment of allies. That's what it feels like.
Memories always start round midnight, round midnight. I haven't got the heart to stand those memories when my heart is still with you. And oh,
midnight knows it too.
The way that everyone wanted to meet each other and was super interested in each other and what we can bring to each other is really fun. And also that the orchestral musicians are so up for trying something that pushes them outside of their comfort zone as well is a really special thing.
That precariousness is where you get the good stuff coming out. You get the sparks and the magic of it all.
Yeah, and that messiness and sort of energy that is cabaret as well.
I raise my voices in hopes that you can hear. We're more similar than you know. It's not our differences we should fear. We've become complicit with the lies and greed, and of compassion we have none. On the brink of self-destruction, leaving us unable to function, and as we make excuses, always wanting to pass the blame, it never occurs to look within, always reluctant to change. Your pride is stained like the tears of the ones we hurt again. Wrapped around my chest, I need to breathe again. I need to breathe again. Let me go.
I think that when you're in a classical, orchestral, symphonic world, you can only see one side of people, perhaps. And it's interesting to see when my colleagues and I are put in a different context, maybe something that we're not as comfortable with, that I was listening to them say things that I never would have guessed they would have said, or in seeing parts of them and seeing some enthusiasms coming out or some interests coming out that I had no idea were there. So I think, you know, this is also kind of shining a light on us as classical musicians and as individuals that might kind of bring out some different things that we weren't really expecting.
I'm hoping to share an experience, basically a story and a lived experience with people who do look like me or people who just believe that people who look like me are valid. I'm also hoping that a lot of people that look like us, but look like Rudy and myself, will come through and be in the audience. And in that, I'm hoping to share an audience of colour with the musicians that we have and with the other cabaret artists.
Something that might at first seem like almost scary or unusual or not of your world actually is. Like the things that our songs talk about and the sounds and the way we write music, actually music is very universal in that sort of cheesy way.
I think I'd like people to just walk away feeling like they've had a really great time and been taken by surprise, and maybe seen something that they might want to see again and carry on exploring.
A new dawn has broken and it is wonderful. We always said that if we had the courage to change, then we could do it, and we did it. This vote tonight has been a vote for the future, for a new era of politics in Britain. Britain, head and heart, will be unbeatable. That is the Britain I offer you. That is the Britain that together can be ours. On Tuesday night, I gave the order for the British forces to take part in military action.